I went to the movies, so you don't have to. I went and watched The Exorcist, The Believer, and a real stupid movie called Royal Hotel. No spoilers if you watch the episode. And come check out the rest of the episode to see if Halloween is in fact undefeated. That's up for debate on this week's ByteSized Talks. Welcome back, everybody. This is a Movie Monday review. My name is Gary, aka Hempy. On the other side, there's still, with the bullseye on his forehead, is Julian. Say what's up, man.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Jupe. Hope everybody's doing well. We got some interesting movies today and an interesting undefeated topic. At least I think so.
Now, I know we addressed this in the last episode on Friday, the 13th episode, but I mean, I don't know. Were you like trying to shave that unibrow you got, or you know, is that what happened
Dude,
there,
it's
man?
terrible. And then when I got home after I got hit, there's just a blob of blood right here. I was like, what the fuck? That looks like a birthmark or something.
Dude, in high school and like shortly after that, I was the king of like butchering myself when it came to shaving. Like
Really?
I'd be like, so you know, when you're trying to do one of these, right?
Yeah.
Like you go to the side to try to get a nice thing. Sometimes I'd do that, and then like I just have like a flinch,
Yeah.
and like using a Mach 3, like dude, I had sometimes where like it just cut in like three perfect like look
Oh,
like a
fuck.
cat fucked me up. Um, and dude, being such clean cuts, they're hard
Yeah.
to clot. So,
Yeah.
dude, my friend's like, dude, I thought you were coming over. I'm like, yeah, I'm waiting for my face to stop bleeding. Like, dude, what the fuck? And like, I cut myself shaving. Like, dude, it can't be that bad. And then I show up like, what the fuck? Like, um, but let's get into the movies. So, uh, I should say that I need to go and watch the original Exorcist. Have you ever watched the
I've watched it.
original?
Yeah.
What was your feelings about the original?
I was 10 years old probably when I first watched it. I've always been into those types of movies that are they're creepy, that have a bunch of the spooks in it. I enjoyed it. Uh, I like those movies. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Um. So this one, The Exorcist, The Believer, uh, obviously, like it had some really interesting trailers for it. Premise: two girls get possessed. Um, they did a tie to like the original Exorcist that it was like all linked, so it's not just a unique Exorcist like a standalone story. They tried to incorporate it into like a fabric of the Exorcist like universe.
Yeah.
Um, uh, it was missing an essence to it. Um, I think in like trying to make the connections between them, they lost a bit of creativity on like what the demon that the whole that what that was supposed to look like, sound like, feel like.
Yeah.
Um, uh, the person they bring from the original Exorcist into this, like, I don't think it was a strong enough of a legacy play. Like,
Okay.
if you watch the Halloween movies, like you're expecting Michael Myers, and then I forget the name of Sigourney Weaver, I think's her name.
Yeah.
You're like she's like the woman who's in the original one, and she's like always and she's there to kill Michael. She's always game to kill Michael, and like you're rooting for her to kill him and him to kill everybody else. Like this doesn't have that feeling yet. They haven't built that. Like in Saw, you know who Jigsaw is. You want that little creepy demon dummy coming out on the tricycle, right? Like those are the things you're expecting
Yeah.
from that type of movie. And this, like, I don't think it has that same fabric that's there, which is interesting because that fabric just sold for $400 million.
What fabric?
The fabric of like the Exorcist universe,
Are you
the
serious?
IP. Yeah, look up how much movie this one made in its opening weekend. I want to say it was less than $30 million. Um, Now the reboot of the Halloween, I think that brought in close to like 300 mil. Um, so I think they're like, oh hey, like The Exorcist is huge. It's gonna jump generations, people who loved it when it first came out. Uh, but this one, I think it brought in $30 million so far.
$38.8 million in its first 10 days, and it's expected to hit somewhere around 65 million.
Yeah, so that whole thing sold for 400 million. So they're
Jesus.
probably gonna start having like Exorcist at the Perro and like just start having everything getting
I would watch
possessed.
that. That actually sounds pretty good.
Julian got on a kick to anything that had a dog in it. He was gun ho. Like
Still do.
what was that pinche? Was it pinche Axel? That
Axel.
terrible robot
It
dog
wasn't
movie.
terrible. It was good.
It looked like one of those fucking toy dogs you buy at Toys R Us. Like for somebody who like, oh hey, we got you a dog, but they don't want an actual dog, so they get the little kid, the little thing that barks a couple times. They play with for a couple hours and then never gets played with again. Um, yeah, but that franchise was sold for $400 million, and it comes out with this big old flop. Um, I the movie again, like there's some interesting parts to it. It wasn't terrible. I was just like, God, like it was just flat. It was missing and like missing an essence to it. Um, I think I was a little bit positive on this. So I think this is an optimistic score, but I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Well, you're right around where the audience puts it. Audience puts this at 58%. Critics, though, they put it at 23%.
So in contrast to like the recent Saw movie, um, this I give this a higher score just because I was able to watch it. the, the Saw movie, which had to be like, oh shit, like when's it over? Is it over, Julian? Can I look? Is it over? Like
Yeah.
watching the movie that way, like I was actually able to watch the Exorcist movie, so that's why I gave it a higher score. So it doesn't have like that gore turn off that
Yeah.
Saw does. So that's why I gave it a higher score for me. Um, I still think of the scary movies I've seen and reviewed. Uh, I think I gave The Nun a higher score. I could pull that up right now. But I think The Nun's the one that overall surprised me the most. Yeah, I gave The Nun a 6.5. So
Yeah.
I think The Nun was substantially better for The Exorcist. That to me had a more unique approach to a movie.
Yeah.
Um, Brings us up to this movie that probably nobody's heard about. I was surprised there's actually other people in the theater when I went to see it. Um, it's a small movie called The Royal Hotel. Premise: two girls trying to go on like a summer vacation to find themselves. Right? It's kind of like that like similar to people who go backpacking through Europe. Like they went to Australia to go party, live down there for an extended amount of time, get jobs there because they didn't have the money just to go party and stuff. And they end up taking a job inside of a mining camp that's out in the middle of nowhere. So anybody knows about like a mining camp or a lumber camp, it's predominantly men, right? Uh, they're working at a bar, so it's men. There's alcohol. These are two young, attractive women. They're getting all sorts of attention. Some of it that they want, some of it that they don't. Um, I think they could have had a lot of interesting dynamics with it. They could have played it differently. Like maybe the guy who was sweet and kind and helpful the whole time, and you know, maybe he at the end he actually becomes like the asshole.
Yeah.
Like he's actually the creeper amongst the creepers. It was one dimensional and it was so predictable in some of the things like or just stupid. Like at a certain point, like you're like, God, what? Why? Like you, that guy. If these are two good friends, and one's like, don't talk to that guy. That guy's fucking creeping me the fuck out. And it's an area of just dudes. You'd be like, okay, let me not talk to said guy. Uh, they fucking go when they're told to go right, they go left every fucking time, and it becomes annoying. You're like, why are you doing these stupid shit? Let's like lock the door, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a nice guy, and then something like, no, he's not. There's nothing about him that's ever been nice in this movie. What they showed about him.
Yeah.
Um, so that's the thing. You're not that you're rooting for something to happen to these girls, but you're like, by this point, you deserve it. Like you have walked into that freaking like, it'd be like, somebody escaping. Uh, if you watched a previous video, the toy box killer, and then you went back because like you left your cell phone there. Like, no, go, just get a new fucking phone, right? Like, cut your ties to whatever you had there, like, and just move on. Um, this movie, I think I'm being nice because like there were some things like it wasn't terrible, camera wasn't all shaky or like it had a lot of potential to be one of those slow burning creepy movies. Um, I give it a 2 out of 10. They totally dropped the ball though on what could have been an interesting movie.
You're way off on this one compared to the reviews. Audience gives it a 48%. Guess what the critics give it?
I'm betting something high because here's the thing: it's one of those small movies,
Yeah.
so it's something that it's not. I don't think it's widespread release. So I think it's a very selective people who are going to see this.
Yeah.
Um, but if you're like me and you like fucking blow 'em up action movies, you like like good storylines. You're not into the artsy shit. It's a 2 out of 10.
Guess what the critics gave it?
I'm gonna say seven.
90%.
No fucking way. Like
Yeah.
it's an agenda play because like oh these two girls they stand up for themselves like just like I had a problem with the movie Bottoms, and it's not just me hating on these like women positive movies, right? It's not me doing that. It's they're just bad movies, like, and I think honestly it's one of those things like if you hate it, you're not being supportive,
Yeah.
and it's like make a better movie. I'll support it. Like I supported you by me going to see the movie. That's my support. I did my job. I went to go see your terrible movie. You got to make a better movie.
Yeah.
Um, and again, this has uh there's a movie. If you put in like I think it's called something dogs. Um,
Yeah, that narrows
uh,
it down.
no. But if you put in like movie uh the South uh woman attacked by oh god no let me see because like there's a movie similar to this where like this writer or something moves back to town um and like the men they hired to work on the house um end up like just ogling her you know and the husband's a um nerdy guy and he's like hey can you guys cut it out and I was like we'll look all we want brother like you know um God, not falling down. God, I'll look for it and eventually put it in the comments. But yeah, this that movie had more of they played the cards right. This one I was just like, God, what? Why? That's so stupid. Why'd you do that? Why'd you do this? And um, it was frustrating, is what it was. And I was like, they again. I think it could have been interesting. It could have been really creepy in a great way, but they dropped the ball on it.
Yeah.
Um, uh, yeah, this is gonna bug me what the name of this movie is. Let me actually pause this way. So we go. And we're back. I had to look it up. It was bothering me. The movie I was talking about is called Straw Dogs. Um, that actually had good reviews. It's Rotten Tomato was 82. Its IMDb was a 7.4. I remember that being again. They played the cards right of isolated person surrounded by like horny dudes, and they're trying to get at her. Like they played that, and the woman in that kicked ass. This it was painful, the dumb decisions that were made. Not even like oh yeah, like okay, yeah, she got her ass kicked or this happened or that happened. She was man like you they went into these situations that were terrible situations and made them worse and made them worse and made them worse. And then at the end, they're not going to throw a spoiler out there, but they fuck over the one person who was nice to him the whole movie.
Women.
I'm clipping that. Fucking
Always be
uh,
mean to the nice guy.
yeah. That's kind of what it was. Like the dude who was fucking lurking the whole time, like who should have been like tipping, like it's one of those things. Like it was sending off radars on one of them the whole time, and the other friend who had like she wasn't oblivious to like weird shit. Just fucking, it was so frustrating to see the series of bad decisions that were made. It was like I don't know if you remember that movie or that commercial where it's like they're making fun of scary movies. Like, what should we do? Should we run? Should we get in the like car and drive away, or should we run through the cornfield? I was like, let's run through the cornfield. You know, like the killer standing right behind him, like fucking stupid. Like it was very much like a vibe like that. Like, come on, they
Yeah.
could have played it so much better. Um, which, by the way, I need to throw this out. Writers Guild, give me a credit if this happens if you use it. But when I was talking to a friend today, we are talking about like we were having a conversation. I was like, you know, what would actually be really good for like there was a movie where this girl was like, was she being harassed? Was she being followed? Kind of a creepy, stalkery movie, like where like you know she thinks she kills them or she thinks she got rid of them or you know whatever. The movie happens. I don't have the movie, but I have the perfect ending. Okay, let's
What's
say
the ending?
I don't know. Let's say the guy always had like one of these like little like dental picks or you know he had something that was like you know maybe something on his keychain that he was always clicking or something to identify that guy, right?
Yeah.
Like she goes out to her car and that thing's like on like her windshield wiper or on the top of the car, and like then they just start playing that song that's normally an upbeat song, but it's like don't you forget about me,
Oh, shit.
right? Like I was like that would be so fucking creepy.
That would be
Yeah,
creepy.
like doing like like a horror like rendition of like "Don't You Forget About Me," and then it just like ends. I will forget about me. You know, and I was just
That would be pretty
yeah,
good,
like for
yeah.
someone who's like who got harassed by a stalker, that song "Don't Forget About Me," like try to live the rest of your life, but don't forget about me. Like fuck, dude, I think that'd be good. I'd see that movie. I don't freaking possessed dogs are bad enough when they have a fucking weird cough, but shit. Uh,
We should make a short film one day and just have that be the ending.
we don't have the time for that. What are we gonna do? Fucking
Not
do
right
all through
now.
Zoom? But let's get to Undefeated, the segment Undefeated, where we discuss whether something is truly unrivaled. Is it a cut above the rest? And today, I guess the category is holidays.
Holidays, yeah. Growing up, what would you say was your favorite holiday?
You know, I don't think I look forward to anything more than Christmas.
Christmas. I think all of us as kids truly enjoyed Christmas simply because you would get gifts, you would get toys, hopefully not socks. And it was
I
enjoyable in
always
that
got
sense.
fucking sucks. Come on. That was like my dad killing two birds with one stone. Like we get stocks, we get like some tenactin, uh, a new toothbrush, like when
At least you didn't get a jacket from your teacher way.
I think that,
I think this episode we
or
could
I don't
talk
know. I
about
think we
that.
saved that for a bad tough look. I think we save your jacket for a tough look. Um, but
But yeah, so as a kid, obviously Christmas is nice. Halloween is up there as well, simply because you get a bunch of candy. But as you get older, I think Christmas loses its appeal simply because you have to start buying gifts. You have to,
yeah,
yeah, I hate buying gifts. Like, what the fuck do I get them? And you start seeing this more of a consumer side of Christmas.
yeah, I definitely feel that's true. The part that I hate about Christmas is when everybody buys everybody a little $10 or $20 gift. That
Yeah,
like oh hey, I bought you this DVD, and it's like oh yeah, like that's cool. I guess the movie was all right, and now I have a DVD of it.
yeah,
All right, or they buy you something like oh hey yeah, this is a cool little knickknack thing that I'm never gonna use. Um,
yeah.
what I think the hack of that is all the adults their names get put in a hat and you do a secret Santa where you say you're going to spend $100 on this one person.
Yeah, I've done that before. I
To
think
me,
that's
that
better
like
rather than
yeah, you could
spending.
buy someone something that they'll actually want or wear or use rather than
Yeah, you don't spend $20 on 5 people. You spend $100
yeah.
on
To
one
me, that's
person
so much
rather.
better. And so that's something we said like, and for the kids, like we'll still everybody still buy whatever whatever you want for them because Christmas is a super special for kids. You know, parents
Yeah.
use it a way to manipulate their kids. Oh, you got to be nice. You got to be nice. I don't know when the elf on the shelf started, but that was something we never had. That fool would have got fucked up ratting us out. Like,
But, I think now that I've gotten older, I think I appreciate Halloween more than Christmas. On top of the fact that I enjoy, the season of creepy movies and stuff like that, and all the decorations that goes with it. Um, Seeing or just handing out candy to kids all dressed up is it's fun. Bringing friends over, saying, "Hey, we'll have some drinks and pass out candy all night long," stuff like that.
I gotta
Um,
hold on, I gotta call bullshit. Because when we lived in Socorro, fool, you used to try to park in the backyard so your shit wouldn't get fucking egged because we ran out of candy after about 10 minutes. Like,
Cabrón, I was going through a rough patch. That poor car got keyed. It got fucking what
acetone or
else?
something,
It got hit by another car,
tires
acetone. Dude,
got
I was like,
stabbed.
fuck. My tires. That was a
Yeah,
rough year
you're
for that
missing
car.
your. He used to baby this fucking car of his, and then like you could tell his heart was just broken when he drove around like 5 months without it having one of its mirrors.
It didn't have a mirror. Dude, that car got fucked up. So yeah, obviously I'm gonna hide my car after all that
But
happened.
keep making your
Um
case. Let's hear you spin a fabric here. Fabric of lies.
so yeah, so you don't I mean, one of the things that I like too is you don't have to buy gifts. That's probably the money saver there in which you don't have
You
to worry
do get
about that type of
anxiety though.
stuff.
Like, did I buy enough for these little fuckers? You know,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you could buy 10 bags and then
10,
just hand
10
out as much as
bags.
you can.
You know what I
Yeah.
started doing when I do decide to like hand out shit because sometimes I just like fuck it, just turn off all the lights and I'm gonna go just chill in my room. Uh, I would buy like the individual bags of like the little snack bags like Cheez-Its to give
Oh
those
yeah.
out because like that way if I have them like oh I'll just use those like with my lunches or whatever. So I'm not stuck with a bunch of candy, which I know I'm just gonna fucking demolish. Like, so like to me, it's like that's a better alternative to get stuck with than a bunch of candy.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. No, and then the meaning behind Halloween, do you know what it is, or do you know what how the
I
tradition
think
started?
widespread. It's a harvest festival.
Harvest Festival, uh, the the way it was described is it is the time of year in which the world of the living and the world of the dead are closest, and you can commemorate your loved ones, your dead loved ones, obviously. And you could see that in Dia de los Muertos in Mexico, which they
Let's say I
celebrate as
think the
well.
reason you like this holiday, cabron, is because you just run around the fucking guitar, fucking un poco loco or whatever that fool sings.
Un poco
Isn't that
loco.
what he says? Or
Um, yeah, well, that's
yeah,
how the song goes. Yeah, I can't remember what
cabron,
the song is called.
you draw a mustache on you, and you're him. Little big ass kid running around, not wanting to make shoes.
But yeah, I think Halloween is one of those to where you can enjoy um, without having to worry about the gifts, about yeah, just stuff like that.
Okay, so I'll throw some counter arguments. One, Halloween, in a way, is a fat kid's favorite holiday, but in a way, God, it sucks when you put on that Power Ranger uniform and it looks like it's fucking painted on you. Cabrón. One year I wanted to be the Red Ranger, Red Power Ranger,
Yeah.
and they didn't have like a man size fucking Power Ranger outfit. So my mom bought me the biggest one she could find, the Red Ranger. Cabron, this thing was fucking spacesuiting me, cabron. It was vacuum sealed. And my mom was like, Gary, does it? I was like, it fits, mom. She like came out. She's like, mijo, it doesn't fit. I was like, it fits, mom. Dude, that fat Power Ranger is a legacy in my family. Like everybody fucking remembers me in that costume that year. Um, so I think that's a heartbreaker to kid. Like you want to look like you're fucking Thor or something, but you walk around fucking all sweaty and you know, um,
Got a torta, not a Thor.
Thor. It's fucked up. Um, but yeah, I mean, Halloween as a kid was legit. When did you stop trick or treating? When did that fall out of favor for you?
um, I think when I was like in seventh, sixth grade.
See, I think I stopped. I think I went like once or twice, like once when I was like in seventh grade. But I think in large part, like I stopped dressing up, like in like third. Like I
Yeah,
fell out of, that's for like stupid shit, like trying to be too
yeah,
old, not allowing myself to embrace being a kid, doing all that, and um,
yeah,
and now I will say like if you have a certain friend group, Halloween comes back fucking a big way as an adult. Like all the
yeah.
slutty whatevers, the slutty nurses, like
Oh yeah,
it's a great time to just to go out and
yeah.
party and see all these women wearing all these super sexy outfits, and it's a day where people just fucking let loose and have a party. Like
That's another point. Could you party in any other holiday?
I mean, well, the one obviously that trumps all of them is New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve, yeah,
Like
you
it
could
is like New
party,
Year's Eve
but
is a party. It's
yeah,
supposed to be, right?
yeah. But a holiday, I guess it
You
is a
fucking don't have to go to
holiday.
work the next day. It's a holiday coming on. Like, and I think that's part of the
Yeah,
problem with Halloween for me. Also, is like you don't get that day off, right? I think some institutions, like I think colleges, try to give you a fall break around it to try to cushion that a little
yeah,
bit. But so I think to me, like um, the lead up to it isn't as widespread as a Christmas. I think Christmas has there's more things to it uh, to enjoy. So yeah, I think I'm still, even though I'm a bit of a Grinch, you know,
Yeah,
um, I think I still would hold Christmas above. I think I would hold Christmas above Halloween because sometimes like when you give that kid like that present they wanted, right? Like you give someone something
yeah,
that like maybe it only costs $20, but it's like fuck, dude, you put some thought behind that, like
yeah.
that, and like you tend to see more family around Christmas or Thanksgiving, like so I think that has more of the family pull to it. Unless you do Dia de los Muertos, like unless you're like doing that, but I would say most people aren't. That is more centric to Mexicans, right?
Yeah, but that's the root of Halloween. That's what it was meant for. Obviously, now it's more trick or treating and stuff like that. But it has that. Well, at
I would
least
say
in Mexico,
it's
it does.
just with the
It
Mexican.
has
Other
that.
outside of that, it's hey, we had a great harvest. Let's have a party. Like, I want to say,
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, it all ties in together to where you honor your past loved ones, and I mean, if you can incorporate it into Halloween as well, I mean, great. If not, cool. Then just go out and party and have fun.
yeah, I don't know. Like again, to me, it's. I think it varies with the stage in your life, and I think like when as a whole and overall, like once you have kids, Christmas is so much to them. Like especially because like Christmas, you get two
Yeah,
weeks off from school, 3 weeks off from school, right? If you live in an area where it snows, that's a special time of year to go out and play in the snow and do shit like that. Um, uh, there's all sorts of things to. There's more Christmas games and things like advent calendars and um, tamales, and like those are things that are more centric around.
there's tamales in Halloween too. I don't know if you're in
Well, I
Mexico.
mean, technically 24/7 over there, but like tamales.
I know, but it's custom to bring good food and stuff like
Uh,
that to Dia de
yeah,
los
but come
Muertos.
on, it's a well-established joke of why do Mexicans make tamales at Christmas? So they have something to
Why?
open. Surprising. So, or
That's
they have
so
something to
fucked
unwrap.
up.
That's the punchline. They have something to unwrap.
Unwrap. That's so fucked up.
The sad part is, cabrón, we unwrapping those things all fucking day, all week.
Yeah.
um,
Oh
so to
god.
me, I mean, like tamales, if I tie those to a holiday, I'm tying them to Christmas. You know, um, I think the spirit of giving, even though that's something that sucks when you're broke, right? Like, but once you have a little bit of money and you could, and you're comfortable and like you can give without expecting to receive something nice back. Like when you hit that point, you're like, hey, you know what? I have what I need. I'm not in want of
Yeah.
anything. If I want a hat, or I want a new pair of pants, I want some new shoes, I could go buy those for myself. But when you identify something that you could give to somebody that's special, um, uh, and like it communicates that, and especially if you're able to do that cheaply. The people who are like adults and they still want that huge mega present, like I think that's part of their like their childhood that was never fulfilled. But
Yeah.
there's to me, like I would much rather get like one of my most cherished possessions was a gift from my friend Emily. These four little bowls. I asked for big old menudo bowls. She's like, Gary, I wasn't. I tried making those. I wasn't able to. So I made you a set of small little ice cream bowls. And maybe if I get better at pottery, I can make you some big old soup bowls. But like honestly, I tell people like like the house is on fire outside of getting everything with a heartbeat out the door. So the dogs or whoever's here, get them out. I'm grabbing my grandma's rosary, those bowls, and Wyatt's ashes. Because I mean, let's face it, if Wyatt stayed in the fire, he's not gonna. I'm gonna be able to find him.
I didn't think about that. I have Hercules
Yeah.
ashes here.
Um, but yeah, I mean Halloween.
But you're making the argument towards giving a
But that's
gift.
part of that. See.
Yes, it's nice to give a gift, but you could also do that during a birthday.
True, but this is Jesus's birthday.
Do you believe in Jesus?
You're stupid if you don't believe in Jesus. Jesus did exist. That's a fact.
Jesus existed.
Yes, fact. Nobody denies that.
Okay. Okay. But do you believe in what is celebrated, the savior, the Jesus, the savior and all that in the religion? Do you believe in that?
Now, no,
That's what's
depending on what
celebrated.
religion you're looking at, it gets skewed, right? Um,
Yeah.
did he make water into wine? Like maybe like we do that today, where we would just give the water to grapes and make the grapes, we ferment the grapes, and we make that into wine. No, I know that's a bit blasphemous, but um, like Jesus, he did exist. Nobody denies that. I get what you're saying. Like, am I a Christian? Is kind of what you're getting at.
Exactly.
And I want to. I have belief. I just don't tie it to any one religion. I've learned about a number of religions through different classes and meeting all sorts of people from every corner of the earth, and I think they all offer so much value that I'm not going to tie myself to one particular sect or belief because, like, I mean, technically, I was baptized Catholic, but in like
Yeah.
learning about the kind of what I would call like corruption of the church and the way they move around the child molesters and protected them and not protecting the kids who were molested by these guys and learning about how like kind of the Catholic Church held back science for who knows how long.
Yeah.
Um, I can't commit myself to them, and I know uh, every religion has its drawbacks in that, and to tying to religion, trying to tie to a time that's beyond our real like conception of like what life was like back then. When the life expectancy was
Yeah.
30 years old, like that's fucking crazy to think we are old men by those biblical times. You know, um,
Yeah. Yeah, and that's I guess that's what's drawn me away from religion is um I I get it. It's a moral compass that people can
yeah,
use, but putting all your faith in it, I
yeah,
don't know. I've never I again I was baptized Catholic. I would study the Bible every Tuesday um for various reasons and I've kind of just lost that appeal to it um which is why like I really don't have any sort of religion that I believe in. Do I believe in a higher power? Yeah, I don't know. I don't think
yeah, and,
so.
and it's one of those things like it's hard. Like, how defined is that higher power, right? Like,
Yeah.
because honestly, as scientists and engineers, we believe shit all the time theoretically that we accept. Like the fact
Yeah.
that the argument's being made that my fingers aren't touching. That is a fundamental physics argument that the electrons of one side are repelling against the other one. That's so much that it's a pushing a force, but the actual mass, the nucleus of the atoms on this finger cannot touch the nucleus on this. It's like
Yeah.
to us that's stupid. The fact that if you're in a confined room, a box, you cannot walk totally from one side to the other because you'll always have to walk halfway and then halfway of halfway, then halfway of halfway of halfway. You'll always have a halfway to go.
Mathematically you
You
can
can never
never
cross that
yeah.
room, which other people will be like, no, you take 4 steps and you're there. Like, so
Yeah. Yeah,
we accept
exactly.
things as scientists, as STEM majors that uh, we just have a blind belief in, right? Like we,
Now, the difference there is that if it is called into question and people say, "You know what? I don't think this is true," and they start tests and different things to find out if it's true, you could either argue, yes, it is true, and I've proven it my way versus your way, or you can say, look, these are the things that are wrong with your results.
yeah,
So this is why I think it's wrong. And in religion, you can't really question it. You have to just openly accept it without
yeah,
question.
and I think that's just something people grow up learning and they accept it, and it brings a lot of positive benefit, right? Like in a large part,
Yeah.
it's that. But one time I heard some guys like, if you want to see the most segregated part of America, go to Christian churches in the South on a Sunday. Like
Oh,
there's gonna
yeah.
be churches that are 99.9% black, churches that are 99.9% white. Like it's how does that happen in a normal population when it's what 15-20%? It
Yeah.
should be naturally mixed in 80-20, or if we're just looking at those two categories. Um, so yeah, like that's where we're gonna have to put that fucking recalculating logo on that part. But
So getting back to the subject, yeah, you can celebrate it as a Christian. I get that. But then it's calling into religion.
yeah, but then like also like the Day of the Dead, like you're assuming there's an afterlife, right? To like truly
Yeah.
embrace that.
You don't yeah, yes and no. You don't have to assume there's an afterlife. You just celebrate your loved ones that
Well,
have passed. And that can take many
have
forms.
you ever heard the expression that like you die twice?
Yeah.
So the expression is like, go,
Once
go ahead and try.
you die your first time, obviously, when your heart stops beating, and the second time when the last person who remembers
Which
you
is kind
dies.
of what they show in the movie Coco, right? Like
Coco.
that guy was gonna die because
Yeah.
nobody remembered him. His last living relative was about to die, and I think that's true. I tell people like I think
Yeah.
like sometimes I'll tell a story about like my Nino Ray, and that can make somebody laugh, but I wouldn't have
Yeah.
caused that laugh. I wouldn't have brought joy to that person if it wasn't for my godfather who died. And so like that tether
Yeah.
exists, and now they're linked to them in a way through the story that I shared with them, right? And just after a certain
Yeah.
point, like though I made, if I make you laugh with that story, then you go on and you're being happy, you go and you make somebody else's day. They're still technically tied, but eventually you can't see far back, right? It's beyond
Yeah.
your resolution to see where the two things are separate. You just see the one entity. Um, so, and you kind of see that. And I think that's why so many people, when they die, they want to give their money to a university, get their name on a building. Who was,
Yeah.
Macy of, New Mexico Tech, or, you know, we have buildings over here, the Barnhart building.
Yeah.
Like, who was Mr. Barnhart? And, like it gives a legacy to his
Yeah.
family and to him, to them. Um, but yeah, Halloween's tough for me, man, because
So hold on real quick. Something that ties into that afterlife. I've heard a quote the other day that I found pretty interesting, which kind of applies to us
did you
in this
write this one down,
podcast.
way? Because last time you tried to quote something, Kavron, you were redefining gravity or some bullshit.
Well, I'll try my best, but um, it is said that the most beautiful place is the afterlife because that's where all the unwritten songs are. That's where all the unfinished ideas are. That's where the um the ideas, the dreams that people had when they're alive did not get fulfilled or they did not pursue it. And so in the afterlife, those ideas died with them. And so I might have butchered it.
Keep going,
And so the most beautiful place is the afterlife because those ideas are there.
because they died too.
Yeah, because they took their ideas with them. And so that one song that you always wanted to write, it's with you in the
Yeah,
afterlife.
but it's still only fucking 15 seconds long. You know what I mean? Like, Kavron, you know how many projects
Yeah.
we started in Socorro that are gonna meet us in the afterlife? That fucking wall we tried building,
Yeah.
fucking that fire pit's gonna follow us there. Like, um,
Oh god. Yeah, so the point of the quote was to not let your dreams and your ideas die with you. Bring them forth in the world of the living.
I think something got lost there because it should, yeah, like, don't let your shit go with you to the afterlife. Like, but that's where it's most
Yeah.
beautiful, is in the afterlife.
No, it is most beautiful in the afterlife because those ideas are there.
But so why would you want to finish them to leave them here?
You want to fulfill those dreams while you're alive so people can enjoy them. You don't want those ideas to die
But then
with
why
you.
is it beautiful when they do?
It's beautiful. The afterlife is beautiful because those ideas that were never fulfilled are
Yeah, I
there.
have an idea, right? I die.
Uh-huh. Yes.
Idea is with
Yes.
me in afterlife. Okay?
Yes.
And it's beautiful there because this idea to cure cancer is with me in the afterlife and is not fucking helping people in life, the afterlife in life.
That's the point, is that those ideas should be brought to the world of the living and should be not taken to the
Why
world of
is
the
it
dead. The reason the world of the dead,
why is it so beautiful
huh?
then on this side? On the death on
On
the
the
death
world of the
side.
living, the death side, because those ideas that were not fulfilled in the living are taken into the world of the dead and are fulfilled there.
I think something's missing there. Because to me, it sounds like you're saying, "Hey, you have an idea, it dies with you." That's fucking beautiful, man.
Yeah.
That is never. It's not going to be finished because it died with you.
It's not, oh God, it's not beautiful that you took your idea with you. The afterlife is beautiful because of those ideas that died with them. Okay, imagine this.
Yeah.
Imagine this. Fuck. Imagine this. You create, or you have the idea for the most beautiful painting in
Hmm.
the world, right? You never finished that painting, but in your afterlife, you finished it, right? Are you
Yeah. So I
following
have a
along?
canvas at my house with nothing.
So the most beautiful the most beautiful painting is in the afterlife because you never finished it in the world of
You
the
see me
living.
when I die, I have to go to work. Fucking, I want to get there.
It's
There's a
assuming.
fucking list. Hey, you never finished this assignment. All that fucking, all those math homeworks you skipped out on in fucking eighth grade are coming back to me.
Obviously, obviously not the like the homework assignments, stuff like that, but that beautiful painting was not finished, and in the afterlife it lives there
Unless
with
you're
you,
just dead.
and so therefore, yes, obviously that's not the point. My
Cameron, this means like you
God.
should never finish anything
No. Why?
because
Why?
why rob yourself of that beauty for eternity?
Uh, you're getting way too much into the details right now. You're overthinking
Yeah, you
it.
should think it. You're underthinking it, Cameron. You're just shit's walking around raw. Wait,
All right,
yeah.
pause this real quick.
Fumble! Hooli dropped another argument.
God damn it.
So
That's two for
I'm
two, bro.
I'm gonna bail him out. There is a really sincere song by the group's called the Band Perry. Uh, a song called "If I Die Young," and it's about, somebody was to die while they're really young. You know, um, and I think it's a really beautiful song. But there's a line in there that says, "What I never did is done," and it's a very simple line. But if you think about it, the solace of it is, hey, you know what? I never got to forgive that person. You know what? It's done now. It's done. I never got to go see Niagara Falls. You know what? It's done. Let the it's your work is complete.
It's a little
You
darker.
should be a but you're at peace. Like it's just it is what it is. You don't need to worry. You don't need to
Yeah.
fret. There's nothing you need to work on anymore besides just it's accepted,
Yeah.
right?
What I was alluding to is, um, dare to chase after your dreams and and do what fuck, I'm terrible today. It's late.
Cabrón, don't hold
She-
any babies, cabrón. Dropping
I'm
those
like,
little fuckers. Yeah, you're gonna take all their projects with them. Wanting to learn how to walk.
so stupid.
Oh, so beautiful.
Oh god,
Fucking
it's
poor
late.
hammer. Poor hammer.
Oh, no. That was a good
um.
joke.
So yeah, Hoolies is lacking a quote because he doesn't have a fucking quote. Like
I'm
it
gonna
just
start
it's
screenshotting things from now on.
yeah, you need to, cabron. Fucking put a bullseye on them.
Oh god.
Um, yeah, I think I think we need a table. Halloween. I think Christmas. It's um that general season um is more impactful, means more to broader people. I think you see a lot more in the community coming out. People that is tis the season of giving, right?
Yeah,
Um, is Halloween potentially more fun? I would say, yeah. I think it's
maybe. Yeah,
Halloween's the it's right up there with like 4th of July to where there is nothing else tied to it, right? Like
yeah,
you could go celebrate those holidays with whoever the hell you want. They're not it's not reliant on going to family, right? There's no pressures of that. You go, spend your 4th of July, Halloween. You go do that with whoever you please. That's like more of a friend holiday,
yeah.
um, especially across across American culture. Within Mexican culture, it's a little bit different, and I wouldn't even say it extends to Chicano culture. Like it's strictly
No.
like Mexican. Um, I don't think it's undefeated way. I think it wins a lot of fights, but it's not undefeated.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, and it's fair. Like and again, for you, maybe it is. For you, it reigns supreme. And maybe I need to look back and look at my end tables and take that. Even though you
Dude,
were the worst
I'm
person
I'm,
to make those fucking arguments against my end tables.
I'm
Uh,
considering buying that fucking ottoman.
but it's fucking not a coffee table, cabrón. It's fucking it's an identity crisis, is what it is.
Oh
Um,
god.
but yeah, I don't think it's undefeated. I think we need to add it on the list of good but not great. Not
Yeah.
a true champion. That being said, I don't know I mean. That doesn't mean I don't think there is an undefeated holiday. I don't think.
Within each individual, I think there's bias towards a certain holiday.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, but I think like like the Costco hot dog, like that's a fucking champion, bro. That thing is
I think
fucking
I think that's been the only one that's been undefeated.
no chips and salsa.
Oh, chips and salsa
Uh,
by technicality. I mean,
uh, so I'm keeping a spreadsheet of this. Cooking in a wok that was undefeated.
yeah.
But so far losers. We have anime, and then I put an undecided. I'm waiting for those comments to fucking blow up. Hold on the end table. I think we'll be waiting for a while, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy for it to be dot dot dot. You know, don't you forget about me.
Oh god.
So, if you guys been riding with us all this time, do yourself reward yourself with hitting that like button. If you haven't already subscribed, do so. If you have, thank you for the support. We'll catch you guys on WTF Wednesday in a couple days.
Yeah, and send us any suggestions you may have for undefeated topics. We'll link the link tree is on our description, so you can send us a message on social media as well. And take care, everybody. Have a good week.
Yeah, and if you know what quote this beach is talking about, send us that, because I don't think we're
Somebody please save me. I can't remember what it was.
Take
care,
all.
everybody.